Top of the morning to you, and you're welcome to Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi. This wonderful morning, we'll be talking from the local front at the MPFL rescheduled game. Also, we'll be looking at the European scene, the UEFA Champions League and of football. Were kicked off yesterday. Massive goals, massive game. Liverpool finally picking up a victory. Bayern Munich still unbeaten this season in all competition. Also, we'll be looking at the WTA. We'll be looking at the world of basketball. All this and more on the show. I have Samuel Akintunde joining us all the way, and he's on Zoom call there. You can see Samuel Akintunde. They call him City Boy himself. City Boy, good morning to you. Yeah, I'm trying to get you clearly. I don't know if you can hear me. City Boy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very loud and clear.
All
Good
right.
morning to
Yes,
you.
good morning to you, City Boy.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to join you on the program this beautiful morning to talk sports. A lot happened on the European scene yesterday, UEFA Champions League, just like you mentioned. Liverpool got a win against Real Madrid, and of course, Bayern Munich are still unbeaten after 16 games across all competition this season. What a massive win for them at the Parc des Princes against the reigning champions, Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, we see our interesting talking point from the local scene, MPFL. There are two games, I think, rescheduled games. So let's just jump into the conversation.
All right. Firstly, before we jump into the conversation, you're wearing an Arsenal jersey, if I'm correct.
Yes, of course.
All right, all right. I want to know your stand, but I know the club where you belong, but it's okay to still support, a team, striving good this season.
Yeah, I'm putting on an Arsenal jersey because me they've been solid this season. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but as a sport journalist, you need to rep every club, and then you need to also be objective, especially when you are discussing all teams. And I think Arsenal have been very, very incredible this season. 3-0 they won against Slavia Prague yesterday, and of course another game for them, another clean sheet, 8 clean sheets in a row for Mikel Arteta's side. And you begin to wonder what they are cooking. Are we witnessing the best Arsenal team ever in their history? Because I can tell you for a fact they've been very, very solid. The last time they considered a goal was, I think, was in September. Since then, they've not considered a single goal across all competitions. So, repping them today, they deserve it. They deserve all the flowers, all the accolades they're getting. They are by far the best team in England this season and one of the best across Europe.
All right, let's discuss about the rescheduled game in the MPFL this season. We have Bendel Insurance are going to welcome Rivers United, and we have Nasarawa United welcoming Remo Stars. Let's start off with the game between Bendel Insurance and Rivers United. What's that game looking like, for the CAF, representative from Nigeria right there after they picked up a victory, just last week. They have this one again for them to pick up another 3 points away from home. Do you see them doing it against Bendel Insurance?
It will be very difficult for Rivers United to pick up maximum point at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium because Pendal Insurance are struggling. And of course, they need this game more. They need to get a win today. It's a must win for them. And of course, they are playing on their home soil. Under a new manager, Kennedy Boboye. And of course, he's still looking to get his first win. I think they played a draw. A derby game it was for them over the weekend, last weekend against Warri Wolves, and it ended 1-1 at home. So it's another opportunity for them to actually impress their own fans. This is a rescheduled game, and like I said, they've been struggling this season. Look at them on the log; they are not in an appreciable position. They need to, turn things around, and that's why they parted ways with their former manager and brought in title-winning coach, 2 times MPFL title-winning coach Kennedy Boboye, to actually help them and salvage their season. So this kind of game that they have to use to actually get back on track. Of course, they are up against a very informed Rivers United, who won against Nasarawa United last weekend at the Adokia Mesa Amaka Stadium in Port Harcourt. And of course, they are the only representative on the continent for Nigeria. Of course, in their group, CAF Champions League group, we saw the draw Monday. They've been drawn in a very, very difficult group against 2 defending champions, because they are going to play against Pyramid of Egypt, and then they play against RB Berkane of Morocco, who of course won the Confederation Cup. So it's going to be difficult for Rivers United, I must tell you, because playing away from home against a struggling desperate side like Bendel Insurance that need to get a win will be difficult. But can they do it? Only time will tell. But I don't see Rivers United winning this one. Maybe The positive they can get away from this game is a draw, because I do not see Kennedy Boboy losing at home again in a game that they definitely need to get the 3 points.
All right, let's move straight to the game between Nasarawa United and Remo Stars. Before they lost that game to Rivers United, they were at the top of the table, that they were leading top of the table. But after that loss, they fall back to second. But Remo Stars, we got the report yesterday, is still, rumors, according to the information that we got yesterday.
It's still a developing story.
Yes, it's still a developing story because, we have not seen an official statement from the Remo Stars camp. And also, the coach himself has not said anything relating to that. But the game is between Nasarawa United and Remo Stars. What's it looking like for a team like Remo Stars this season? It's been a difficult patch for them, not winning games away from home. A little bit of struggle year and year. You saw how they struggled in the CAF Champions League qualification. And Nasarawa United also, not looking like a team who can maintain top form, but they're still, looking like a team that can challenge for the title.
Yeah, Nasarawa United have been the best team in the NPFL this season, statistics-wise, performance-wise, whichever way you want to look at it. Because they've won 2 games away from home this season, and their home form have been very, very, very incredible as well. They've only lost 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that down, but I know that they've been very, very on coach Mangotim Boas. They lost away from home to Rivers United last weekend. They need a reaction today. Unfortunately for them, they are playing at home against the struggling Remo Stars, though defending champions, but they've been the shadow of themselves this season. You look at Remo Stars and then you begin to ask yourself, can they really defend their title this season? Because of course, they are 17th on the log with 10 points, though they have 3 outstanding games, and one of the outstanding games is this one they are playing today because they're a scheduled game. For Nasarawa United, this game presents an opportunity for them to get back to their top position, because should they win today, they will move to top on the log, and it's a winnable game for them. They are playing at home, like I said. They've been very, very good in Lafia. All their games, I think they've not lost at home this season, and of course, their next game will still be played at home. So if they win today, they will move to the top. Even in the match 12 of the NPFL, they will play against.
All right, we're just discussing about the rescheduled game ahead of 2025-2026 season, and Samuel Akintunde has been discussing about the game ahead of this one. Also, we talked about the Benden Insurance welcoming Rivers United on Thursday, and also Nasarawa United are also going to take on the defending champions Remo Stars, who are currently struggling. But we're going to watch the highlight between the game
last season
and Shooting Stars Football Club at the Lakers Salami Stadium. When we are back, we are still talking sport right here on Dominion Television. Stay connected. right, you're welcome back to Dominion Television, Dominion Sport, where we're talking all things sport on the go. And then you have that game between Shooting Stars Football Club against Castina United that ended 1-1. What a beautiful game of football that was at the Lakers Salami Stadium. I still have the city boy himself, Samuel Akintunde, still very much connected to us. Samuel, we are talking about the game between Remo Stars and National United. Quickly, I just want us to move to the situation around Daniel Ogunmadede, the coach of Remo Stars. What's the situation like? You know, there are pictures that surfaced yesterday that is currently, in Abuja receiving a CAF B training. And we got the report that, he has resigned from the job of Remo Stars. What is the situation report like, at that camp of Remo Stars and coach Daniel Ogunmadede?
Yeah, the only official information that I've got so far is the fact that, just like you mentioned, is in Abuja, of course, to complete the CAF B coaching course, and that's what I think is official information. Anything aside from that is just a rumor. But in every rumor, there is an iota of truth.
I agree.
And even before now, can you hear me?
I can go ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah. So like I said, in every rumor there is an iota of truth. So we cannot really say that, okay, what we are hearing about the potential managerial shake-up, about the fact that maybe he has resigned or they have parted ways. I mean, the management and Coach Daniel have parted ways and all of that. Still unfounded, still, unconfirmed yet. It's not official. But like I said, in every rumor there's an iota of truth. So we just have to wait and keep our fingers crossed and see and monitor the whole situation around Daniel Ogunmadede with Remo Stars. Of course, after the elimination from the CAF Champions League second preliminary round, where they lost to Mamelodi Sundown, I think 7-1 on aggregate. There've been talks about, Daniel Ogunmadede not going to remain as the manager of Remo Stars, defending champion. But since the club have not come out to tell us what is happening, the true information about the whole situation, but I think what we can talk about now is the fact that it's not going to be on the touchline when they travel to Lafayette to take on Nasarawa United, just like he was not available in the learning when they lost to Kwara United over the weekend, 3-1. So it was because of the fact that he's in Abuja. He's in Abuja taking CAF B course. So and that's why we saw that picture surface internet yesterday. It was yesterday that we got the rumor were flying around, and in the evening he himself even posted on his Facebook, on Instagram, posted the pictures of him undergoing that CAF B course. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. We still cannot really talk about this because it's still unfounded, still not confirmed. What we can say now is the fact that he's unavailable, and due to the fact that he's currently in Abuja undergoing CAF B course.
All right, we'll be giving you more report from the camp of Remo Stars and also our coach Daniel Ogunmadede as the situation unfolds. Let's move away from that story and let's take more update in the world of sport as CAF confirms 4 other qualified countries. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has confirmed that the 4 additional countries that will complete 16-team lineup for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations, WAFCON in Morocco. Following the expansion of the tournament from 12 to 16 teams, CAF awarded the 4 extra qualification slots based on the latest FIFA Women's World Ranking. According to the official release, Cameroon 60th, Cote d'Ivoire 71st, Mali 79th, and Egypt 95th have all earned automatic qualification to join the 12 teams that booked their spot through the October 2025 qualifiers. The expanded format marks a new chapter for women's football in Africa, giving more nations the opportunity to compete at the continental level and further showcasing the growth of women's games across the continent. Samuel Akintunde, more expansion, coming to African football. Are you excited about this new ordeal that we now have 16 teams representing in the WAFCON, no longer 12?
Yeah, it's a welcome development, and it also underscores the fact that women football in Africa is becoming more competitive. And of course, now you see nations that before don't used to participate in women football are now coming on board. I mean, we saw Cape Verde qualifying for the very first time in their history. And of course, we also saw a team like Malawi qualifying for the WAFCON for the very first time. Kenya also qualified, I think, for the first time in over 10 years. So it's good. It's good. The expansion is very, very good. It's a welcome development. Like I said, it shows that women football is becoming more competitive, and people and we are beginning to see, that competition coming now. And of course, it's also underscores the fact that it's not going to be the usual competition anymore. 12 now to 16 more additional, 4 additional teams. But for me, I think my only concern is the fact that I don't like the way CAF actually gave that remaining 4 slots to the 4 teams, to Cameroon, Egypt, and the other 2 teams. I think I fought that, and a lot of people have also been reacting to the system or the process of allotting that 4 slots to the thing that they are going by the latest FIFA women's ranking. I think it should have been. They should have actually organized playoff or mini tournament for the remaining teams to actually compete and fight for that first slot. It shouldn't be based on ranking. It should be competitive. It shouldn't come on the platter. It should have been. They should have compete for it. I mean, imagine a nation like Egypt that lost to Ghana 7 goals on aggregate. They lost to Mali. They lost 3 goals. They lost in Ghana 4 goals. That's 7 goals on aggregate. Now qualifying ahead of a team like the Amazons of Benin. They actually played a 1-1 draw away from home against the reigning champions, the Super Falcons. They didn't lose home and away. They lost at home. They picked a point away from home, and then they will not represent. Are you telling me they will not participate in the WAFCON next year? At the expense of a team like Egypt, who lost home and away? So it shouldn't be based on the coefficient or the ranking of FIFA or CAF. It should be based on like we are going to see the playoff for the FIFA World Cup for men's national team, that 4 teams now participate in the African playoff for 1 slot. I think that should have been the case for these the remaining 4 slots that were allotted. It should have been competed. It should have been based on competition. Maybe they should have staged a mini tournament for playoff, let this team compete, and then the best team should have, emerged from there. But this it's actually questionable.
All right. We hope for the very best. We hope that things like this can be done properly. Because you are just listening to Samuel Akintunde, saying that Egypt were actually, knocked out properly, and now getting, qualification speaks so much ahead of teams like Benin Republic and not flying the flag at the WAFCON. Let's move away from that. Just talking women football. Samuel Akintunde, let's talk about the NWFL running their bridge season. The cost for this season is 50 million naira. Then additional expenses for the Super 6 playoff comes close to 5 million naira. Yet, at the ending of it all, the winner prize is 10 million naira. About 90% of this club depends on government subventions, while the remaining few are privately owned, and even they can't hardly sustain operations for long. This is one of the major reasons why some clubs withdraw and sold their slot ahead of the 2025-2026 NWFL Premiership season. Now, Samuel Akintunde, my question is the NWFL management doing enough to increase the winning prize by actively seeking sponsorship? How many of these clubs are reaching out to brands for partnership or sponsorship deals? How many are taking advantage of the social media platforms by employing capable media officers to generate revenue and visibility? Those are my questions for you, because the NWFL is upon us, and it's not looking like that's one league we want to entertain. Looking at how we're still going back to their bridge league, you look at the format, you look at the prize money, you look at the media coverage, you look at everything going into this season. It's not looking as exciting as we want it to be.
It underscores the fact that we are still far behind talking about women's league football in Nigeria. And we are still having this conversation. It definitely shows we need to do a lot more.
We have so much work to do.
We have a lot more to do in terms of how we want to develop women league football in Nigeria. The coverage is not even there. The media prominence is not there as well. And of course, the visibility is not there. And that's why we're having this conversation. The abridged format is still going to be the abridged format for this season, and then they will stage the Super Six, the Super Six at the end of the regular abridged season. So for me, we just have to do more.
And at the end of the day, Samuel, at the end of the day, they are earning 10 million naira at the end of the season.
It's not clear for me. It's really not clear. We don't. I mean, the prize money. It's just very very questionable. And then, but I understand the fact that, like I said, you cannot compare men's football. When you talk about the league football, the MPFL, the NNL to NWFL, you see teams like Pacesetter Queens that just, I mean, the Pacesetter Queens of Oyo State are going to be playing in the top flights. They were just found some months ago, and then they'll be playing. They bought the ticket, they got the slots, and they'll be playing at the top flight. So this is one of the issues that's affecting some clubs. Don't have that capacity. They don't have that, monetary ability to actually compete and
to compete.
they want to play in the top flight, and that's why you see government-owned clubs, getting the slots and say, okay, let's see what we can do. But I hope that we are going to get it right. Let's just continue to let it be consistent. I like the consistency. It's not as if they are not going to play this season. They will play despite all the challenges, despite the fact that there are so many loopholes, lacuna to fix. But you can only get better. We hope that it's going to get better, but we just have to take it as it is now. There are so many, like I said, there are so many controversy around it. There are so many issues that need to be fixed. But then we cannot fix all this if we are not actually trying, and they are trying to actually play the league and to make it a very consistent something, a very consistent experience. And that's why I like that. I like their reasons to ensure that okay, we are still going to have it this season, and let's see if we can make any progress this season. Maybe next season will be better than this season, hopefully. But it's good that the consistency is there in terms of visibility, in terms of media coverage. We are going to get there. Rome was not built a day, and you cannot compare the stance. You cannot compare the acceptability of women's football when it comes to league football in Nigeria. Even the men's football, the MPFL are still trying to make it more entertaining, to make it more competitive, more amongst the fans in the country. So if we are having challenges with the men's league, men's football league, watch much more of the women's football league. We just hope that things will get better, maybe next season.
All right. We hope that things get better next season. It's the prayer that we will be working towards. And actually, just like Simon has said, the consistency is what that matters. We hope for the very best. We hope that things work out fine for our football right here in Nigeria. Let's talk football. We're talking about the UEFA Champions League and the football yesterday. Arsenal kicked off the action right there, and likewise Napoli also kicked off action right there in the UEFA Champions League. The game ended in a goalless draw between Napoli and Frankfurt. There you have it on the screen also. Arsenal picking up a 3-goal advantage. Bukayo Saka getting a goal from the penalty spot, and Mikel Merino getting a brace in that game, filling up the spot for Victor Gyökeres. He has been a fantastic man in good form for both the Spanish side of football and also his club side of football. Mikel Merino picking up a brace right there. Moving away from that, also Liverpool getting a victory yesterday against the Galacticos. Real Madrid right there. Xabi Alonso could not pick up a victory against his club side where he played football for Liverpool. Liverpool has been struggling. It's been back and forth to struggle for Liverpool this season, and they were able to pick up all victory against Galacticos Real Madrid 1-0. McAllister getting a goal from a beautiful set-piece cross from Dominic Szoboszlai. Moving away from that, also the game ended for Tottenham Hotspur 4-0. That one against Copenhagen. Ben Johnson, Odbert, Mickey van der Ven, and João Paulina getting the goal right here for Tottenham Hotspur. Moving away from that, also Bayern Munich 16-16 in all competitions. Vincent Kompany doing something fantastic for the German side. Bayern Munich, the game ended 2-1. The former Liverpool star man Luis Diaz getting a brace right there, and Manuel Neuer proving to be a shot stopper against Paris Saint-Germain at the Parc des Princes. The game ended 2-1. João Neves coming back from an injury, getting 1 goal for them. Ousmane Dembele picked up an injury. Likewise, Kvaratskhelia also picking up an injury in that game for Paris Saint-Germain. Moving away from that, giving you more results in the UEFA Champions League night of football. Yesterday, Atletico de Madrid picked up all 3 points, 3-1. That one ended against Union Saint-Gilloise. Julian Alvarez, the man for the moment for Atletico de Madrid, got a goal in that game. Conor Gallagher, the Chelsea former star man, got in a goal in that game, and also Llorente also getting a goal for Atletico de Madrid. Diego Simeone and his boys are doing something fantastic. Moving away from that, more results in the Champions League. The old ladies of Turin, Juventus, picked up just 1 point after that game against Sporting CP. Vlahovic and also the man Araujo getting a goal right there for Sporting CP. That one ended 1-1. Still in the UEFA Champions League of football, the game ended 1-1. Also, Olympique Lyon. Olympico against PSV. The game ended 1-1. Gilson Martins and also Pepe getting a goal in that one. Also, Monaco picked up all 3 points away from home to Bodo Glimt. The game ended 1-0. Folarin Balogun getting that goal right there. Samuel Akintola, I don't know if you're still there with me. I don't know if I still have Samuel on the call with me quickly. All right. If we don't have Samuel, let's just move on. Okay, Samuel, over to you. There you have it, the result for yesterday's game. Let's just talk about Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich, and also Liverpool and Madrid. Were you expecting a victory for Liverpool yesterday at Anfield?
Yeah, of course. It was a very, very good game for Liverpool. A statement win it was for them, regardless of the scoreline, 1-0. But they needed that. They could have scored more, if not for Couture, who actually kept it at 1-0 because it was.
He saved 8. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it was fantastic yesterday to actually keep it at 1-0 for Liverpool. Could have been more goals for Liverpool. They created so many chances, and I think they needed that. They needed that big win. Regardless of the scoreline, like I said, they played against Real Madrid, and in form side, the teams have been very, very impressive this season. They've only lost a game to Madrid this season, and of course, that also underscores the fact that they've been one of the best teams in Europe this season. Now Liverpool defeating them without conceding a goal, and by the way, that was back-to-back clean sheet for Liverpool. Don't forget they kept a clean sheet against Aston Villa on Saturday, and another clean sheet at Anfield Stadium for them. So they needed that. It was an all-round performance for Liverpool. They ticked all boxes for me because they got the result. They kept a clean sheet. They scored a goal. They actually also kept Vinicius and Mbappe. All through the game, they came out. And just like Anislo said after that game, that he told his players that if they really want to stand a chance against Real Madrid, they actually need to bring up their A game into that game and actually try to stop Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe, because Real Madrid have scored 26 goals in La Liga this season, and 24 of those 26 goals were scored by Vinicius and
Kylian Mbappe.
Kylian Mbappe, so they both had 24 goal contribution this season in 26 goals scored by Real Madrid in La Liga. So that also tells you that these two guys are very, very exceptional. And for Liverpool to actually stop them, they defended very, very well. It was a defensive masterclass, Liverpool, because they kept Vinicius and Mbappe to 0 shot on target. They didn't even get a shot on target yesterday. And what a player Conor Bradley he was yesterday. He loved to play against Real Madrid, because I remember he was very outstanding last season when they defeated Real Madrid 2-0. I was very outstanding. He kept Mbappe out in that game. Unfortunately, he could not end the game because they had to leave the pitch by 80th minute due to injury. But yesterday was phenomenal. He played 90 minutes against Aston Villa, played 90 minutes again yesterday, and he kept Vinicius out the entire game. It was an all-round performance for Liverpool. They could have scored more goals, like I said. They created so many chances, and defensively they defended very resolutely. So they needed that, and of course they actually proved themselves that they are still a very formidable team in Europe, a very top team in Europe, and they are dangerous. So, regardless of the fact that they've endured a very, very turbulent period, I mean, they've had, they are poured on, they've had poured on of games, but since they won against Aston Villa and that game yesterday that they won against Real Madrid, I think we can begin to see that okay, maybe they are actually trying to turn things around. And for Arne Slot, he just has to actually build on this momentum. Beating Real Madrid is not a fluke. So let's just hope they will definitely on this momentum.
All right. For Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich, for you, were you expecting a certain Bayern Munich to pull, all 3 points against Paris Saint-Germain? Looking at the records between these two sides, over the years.
For Paris Saint-Germain yesterday, very, very poor result for them at home that they lost to Bayern Munich. But they lost to the best teams in the world right now, because Bayern Munich are the best team in the world right now. I don't know how you want to. There's no way you want to make an argument against that, because the stats speak for themselves, and of course they have a very good run of games. 16 games, 16 wins for them. Because of competition, they are not only unbeaten, they've not dropped a point as well. So they've won all their games, and one will actually be very, very, when we begin to imagine what Vincent Kompany is cooking, from relegating Burnley to now becoming one of the best coaches in the world right now, and that's football for you. Can they keep it up to the rest of the season? Only time will tell, because of course it is one thing to start on a good note, it is another to actually, we saw Liverpool last season. They started very well. They won. I think they won all their games in the league phase format of the Champions League last season. But what happened in the round of 16? They got knocked out by Paris Saint-Germain. So I think it's a matter of time. But currently, Bayern Munich have been very, very impressive. Their attack have been very, 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 very dangerous. They score goals for fun. Luis Diaz came to yesterday, and of course picking up a red card from Euro to Villian, but it was a good game for them yesterday. And also I think we can say that they are the best team in the world right now, alongside Arsenal. And of course that game actually changed the view and opinion of some people, because I remember before the beginning of the Champions League season, a lot of people were saying Arsenal because of what we saw them and their defensive masterclass. They were picking Arsenal, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Paris Saint-Germain, especially defending champions, saying that these are the favorites to win the Champions League this season. But we can begin to actually see Bayern Munich as one of the favorites,
The boys are getting separated from the men.
On your competition. That's huge for them. Winning away from home at the Princess against the reigning champions yesterday, it was a very, very remarkable performance. Despite the fact that they were even down to 10 men, and they still went ahead to defend their lead away from home. It's been impressive. Vincent Kompany, the best manager, well, maybe one of the best managers in the world. But if you have to go by I can tell you that he's currently the best manager in the world. The only team that can really stop them now is Arsenal, because Arsenal are also very good. They've not conceded Google in the Champions League this season. They've scored 11 goals. They've considered none in the Champions League. 4 games, 4 wins for them as well. And they are topping the table in the Premier League. One would say that Premier League is more competitive than German Bundesliga, and that's why some people will make an argument that Arsenal are the best team in terms of where they are playing the competition in the Premier League, and of course in the Champions League as well. But if you are going by the result and performance, 16 wins in 16 games, definitely Bayern Munich have been unstoppable.
All right. There you have it. Samuel Akinton, they giving us a top-notch analysis on the game yesterday between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich, and also giving us an update from the camp of Anfield, Liverpool, and the Galacticos, the 15-time champions, Real Madrid. Let's move away from that. Let's look at the games coming thick and fast for today in the Champions League because of our time. There you have it on the screen. Pavos are going to welcome Villarreal. We have Qarabag against Chelsea. We have Ajax against Galatasaray. We have Benfica against Bayern Leverkusen. We have Club Brugge against Barcelona. We have Inter against Karat Amaute. We have Man City against Borussia Dortmund. Erling Braut Haaland will be facing his former side, and also we have Marseille against Atalanta. We have Newcastle against Athletic Club. Now, something like today quickly, because of our time, let's discuss the game between Chelsea, and also let's discuss about our African stars. Victor Osimhen is going to be in action, and also Ademola Lookman. Let's start off with Chelsea quickly.
Chelsea against a side from Azerbaijan. Of course, they are traveling away. It's going to be a long journey for Chelsea. But I think it's a winnable game for Chelsea, considering their profile as a top European club. They are up against an inferior side in the European scene. Talking about the Azerbaijani Karabakh. Of course, Karabakh also made history this season by becoming the first Azerbaijani club to actually win a game of football in the UEFA Champions League. Defeated Benfica away from home. I think 3-2 it ended. You know the aftermath of that result. That led to the managerial shake-up in Benfica, where they sacked their former manager with large and appointed former Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho. For Karabakh, they are playing at home. They can actually pick motivation from their famous win in Lisbon against Benfica. Now they are up against another very, very strong team, Chelsea. Maybe they would fancy their chances of actually try to frustrate Chelsea and probably get a draw in that one. But I think Chelsea will be too good for them. Chelsea, they have a very, very good team, and of course they have experience as well. And of course, their win against Tottenham Hotspur over the weekend, London derby. It's actually a morale booster for them ahead of this game. I see them winning all the 3 points away from home. Although unthinkable is allowed in football. And like I said, Karabakh also cannot be pushed over because what we saw against Benfica that they did away from home, maybe they want to replicate that on their own side. But it will be an upset. To be an unthinkable if they get something away from this game.
All right, let's talk about Victor Osimhen quickly because of our time and Ademola Lookman's game. They are going away. Victor Osimhen is going to play in Ajax, where we have Ademola Lookman going straight down to France.
For Victor Osimhen, this is the kind of game that he can score goals because Ajax have been struggling this season. Yes, they've been struggling, and I think Victor Osimhen is in form. Of course, he has been phenomenal in the Champions League this season. I think he won man of the match against Liverpool.
Yeah.
He also won the match against I can't remember the team that they played after Liverpool. So 2 man of the match awards in the Champions League after match day 3. This is match day 4 for him. Away from home against Ajax in the Netherlands. He's someone that can deliver both home and away. So I won't be surprised if Victor Osimhen bag goals, not just one goal, even a brace on our trip today. Like I said, Ajax have been in the shadow of themselves. They've been struggling.
I agree. Quickly.
Galatasaray, if you look at them, not only Osimhen, they also have quality in their camp. And just like Osimhen said in an interview last week, that when he actually signed, the contract at the beginning of the season during the transfer window when he signed for Galatasaray, he spoke with the president of the club that they need to actually make a name. They need to make a mark on the UEFA Champions. They need to actually do well on the European scene. And if you look at their performance so far, they defeated Liverpool. They also won their. I think they've won 2 games in 3 games now. Yes, 2 games in 3 games. And so this one is a game for them. They are very committed to actually go very far in the Champions League this season. And that's why they actually spent so much in the summer because they bought Victor Osimhen. They also got this guy from Bayern Munich, Leroy Sané, amongst many other great players. So let's see how they will approach this game. But I think they have qualities in their camp, and of course the fact also determined to go all the way in the Champions League this season. They want to actually, they want to compete, and of course they want to be impressive. So let's see. I know it's a winning for Galatasaray, but I still want to see Victor Osimhen, scoring goals tonight.
All right, that's all we can take on the show this wonderful morning because of our time. But let me just inform you that the youngest player to make a UEFA Champions League history was Max Doman, 15 years, 308 days. Max Doman is making that history after we had Yusuf Makoko for Borussia Dortmund and also Lamine Yamal. That's all we can take on the show this wonderful morning. A big thank you to Samuel Akintunde, City Boy, for joining us on the show this wonderful morning. We hope to always have you join us to talk sport and give us top-notch analysis. Remain Paul Abe Toluwanimi. Make sure you drop your predictions ahead of the UEFA Champions League game tonight. And if you stand a chance to win 5 correct predictions, you go home with a sum of 5,000 naira. So make sure you drop your predictions in the comment section. A big thank you to everyone that joined us, to the producer and also to the crew. I say a big thank you to you. Stay blessed, enjoy good football, and keep watching Dominion Television, because this is your channel of choice.